You're listening to Sweep the League.
Hey, this is George Iceman Gervin, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Monday night edition, the manic Monday night edition of Sweep the League. Rudy Campos Jr. here with you for the duration of about an hour and 15 minutes. We're going to hopefully be joined by Coach Gio as well as Derek Gervin. So hopefully they'll be joining us tonight. We can talk a little bit about the Spurs pickups, the transactions they made. Chris Paul officially a Spur, Harrison Barnes officially a Spur. Kind of mixed feelings on Spurs Twitter. Majority of people say this obviously makes them a better team. A lot of people saying this is a playoff team. We're seeing play-in team. We got to go over the West again. Now that it's official, these guys are on the roster. We're going to go over the West again because, to be honest with you, it is really hard for me to see them as an actual playoff team. Can they get to the play-in spot? We're going to go over that as well tonight. But also, Cooper Flagg debuted against the Team USA. The Select Team USA played against Team USA today. Pretty dominant performance. In fact, the Select Team barely lost to the Team USA squad. We'll get into Cooper Flagg, talk a little bit here, kind of give our thoughts on how he's going to be at the next level. A lot of GMs are salivating at Cooper Flagg right now. Also, I mean, we're going to get into a little bit of Summer League. You know, we saw Stephon Castle play game one. He had a really good game one, did set out game two. Obviously, your other guys you want to watch this Harrison Ingram as well. So we're going to get into Summer League talk and whatever else you guys want to talk about. I mean, you guys want to bring something up? You've got questions. You've got statements. You want to make a phone call. What is up, Wesley? How you doing? Thanks for joining, man. You want to make a phone call, you can call us here. It's going to be, the number is going to be 830-499-1852. Again, 830-499-1852. That is the special phone number right there. Yep, I said it, special phone number there. That is a special leave hotline right there. That is 830-499-1852. Let's bring the guys on in here we got Coach Gio, Mr. I'm talking all the smack on social media over here. You all right, man?
I haven't been talking any smack.
Oh, I know. You've been talking it in the DMs. I got to release the DMs here.
I only been talking the truth. That's it.
Oh, yeah, that's what you say. We got Derek Gervin as well joining us tonight. Derek, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. How you guys doing?
Doing fantastic. Did you guys have a good 4th of July weekend? That's what I've got to know. Was it good?
Yeah. A pretty solid weekend. Can't complain.
It was good. Hey, barbecue, chicken, barbecue and chicken. I say that's a great holiday, a great weekend for me. Yes, sir.
You know, that was the start of a huge vacation, a vacation I have yet to take. So I'm actually off all week, spending time with the family, no work. When I get back, there's probably going to be like 10,000 emails that I have to answer. So I'm enjoying my time off here, man. Let's get into some basketball talk. This first segment is brought to you by MCS General Contracting. Family, home. It all starts with foundation. That is the most important thing. And that is the one thing that MCS General Contracting begins with. And that is a solid foundation, whether it's your home, swimming pool, patio. You want to extend the driveway. You want to add a driveway. It all starts with a solid foundation. That is MCS General Contracting. This segment is sponsored by MCS General Contracting. The buzz around town, gentlemen. Obviously, it's official. Chris Paul, Spur. Harrison Barnes, Spur. You have the talk of the town right now about, I can see this team getting minimum play-in spot. I've heard people talk, I can see them playoff bound. That is a lot of smoke from a lot of Spurs fans. So let's kind of pump the brakes a little bit and break it down little by little, because for me, hey man, CP3, great addition. Harrison Barnes, fantastic addition. Solid veterans. But that is not a playoff team. Can we agree on that part at least?
Yeah, no, they're not a playoff team, Rudy. Not yet. I mean, look, is it possible, Derek, that they hit their stride sometime throughout the season and they're playing a lot better than maybe they should? It's possible. Could they get in that play-in? But a playoff team, a team that just had, a top 10 pick last season, lost a lot of games at one point. We thought they could have been one of the worst teams in the league at different stretches. Not yet, but I like where they're going. You got a rental in Chris Paul. He's going to come in. He's going to guide your offense, your defense. He's going to do all that good stuff. And Harrison Barnes, I think, is also a good pickup as well, Derek. Solid pro. Another veteran presence. You get a guy coming in who he's been with the Kings for a while now, had a good, a team that got into the playoffs. So something's there. But to say this team's a playoff team, that's a reach, at least right now.
I can't argue with anything Gio just said. Things are looking up. You bring in CP3, of course, a first ballot Hall of Famer. You bring in Harrison Barnes, a guy who's had some playoff experience, played with the Golden State Warriors. He knows how to play the game, but they still have some moves they have to make. They still have to address they need another shooter or two, to be honest with it. And I don't know. They still need a wing player. They have to figure out what they're going to do with Keldon Johnson. With bringing in Harrison Barnes, that kind of makes Keldon expendable unless you're going to bring one of them off the bench. And I really don't see that happening. I think the team is continuing to build, and they're moving forward. All signs point upward. But as far as playoffs, no, I'm going to say right now that's a stretch.
Yeah. Hey, Captain Fletcher, appreciate you joining us here again. If you want to hit us up, you can definitely leave comments. We've got also a phone number. Y'all guys want to call in and give us your takes on the San Antonio Spurs or anything. It's 830-499-1852. We can go back to that comment from Captain Fletcher there. Basically, he's saying, when are we going to see the Spurs probably in the playoffs? Now, I've always been pushing for 2025, 2026. That would be next offseason. You've got a lot of free agents there. You've got a very deep and talented draft. So that's where I'm starting to see the Spurs turn the corner. This is a good start, Harrison Barnes and CP3, but CP3 is only a 1-year rental. Now, Harrison Barnes still has 2 years left, which that contract is pretty good too, because if you have to move on from him, a lot of teams are going to take his contract. It's a very, very team-friendly deal. But I think it's still 2025, 2026 when we see the Spurs actually start to turn the corner and talk playoffs there. Wesley's in here. West roster is better than the Spurs. Mavs, Wolves, OKC, Grizz, Sacs, Suns. Teams with similar, better rosters, Pels, Rockets, Lakers. 30-plus wins possible. Play-in is a hard sell unless Spurs get another 2 solid picks. So we're pretty much in agreement. Playoffs is out. Can they be a play-in team, Derek? That's the key part, is to get over that mountain, you got to get at least you got to get your foot in the door. And I think a play-in spot is a foot in the door. Personally, there's still not a play-in spot because it took 41 wins to get to the play-in last year.
Man, that's a tough one because the West continues to get better. And I don't think play-in is not guaranteed when you're talking about only what you got, number 9 and number 10 teams.
Yeah.
And if you look at the West, there's a lot of really good teams, and that includes the Houston Rockets. Even, you got several teams that are getting better. And so the Spurs are going to have to up the ante a little bit. I like where they're headed, but still we got to figure out the cohesion, the chemistry. We don't know what's going to happen with Keldon Johnson. There's a lot of things we still don't know. Is Jeremy Sohan going to still be a member of the Spurs next year? Yeah. Or this coming season? So they got a lot of things they still got to work out. But right now, I would play in as even a stretch for me. They won 22 last year, 22-60. I don't see them going from 22 to 42. Wow. So I'm going to say the play in is a stretch.
Not even that, Derek. I mean, the Kings at number 9, they won 46 games. The Warriors won 46. I mean, that you're probably trying to get to at least that mark as well, a few more wins. I just don't see a team potentially the wins they had last year, that roster to get to what, 45, 46 wins, Rudy, that's going to be tough.
It's not. And, as CP3 and Harrison Barnes, even Wemby himself, and what's up, Sith? I saw you out there. Welcome, Sith Elias. He does a fantastic job with the wrestling spaces. I was on a couple of them listening, and they do a fantastic job, him and Brandon Medina. But getting back to it, I mean, those two guys at most, if you ask me for a win total right now, just with these transactions, I'm still stuck about 30. I still see about 8 more wins than last year. Wemby's good for another 6. CP3 and Barnes, I would give them the ceiling. I would give them about 33 right now. That's my win total right now at 33. And I think I'm kind of maybe giving them a little bit too much credit. I think so. But if we're being honest, I still say 33. And you're right. The play-in spot is no guarantee. I mean, Denver, Minnesota, Oklahoma City, there's 3 teams right there. You've got, Phoenix and Sacramento. There's 2 more. You can honestly say if Harden and Kawhi are still with the Clippers, ultimately, I still think they're right there. Golden State ended up picking up Wiggins. Not Wiggins. They picked up somebody. Was it Wiggins, I think? I can't remember who they ended up picking up.
No.
They got a guy back up in there. But, I mean, you still can't knock out Steph Curry. I mean, they're going to struggle this year. But I don't know. I think the Spurs it might be one of those 2 teams right there. But then look at the Southwest. Dallas, Memphis, and the Pelicans. So there's already 8 to 9 teams right there that are pretty much in. That leaves 1 spot.
And the Grizzlies, they get their star back.
Well, they get their whole team back.
Yeah, their whole team back, right? So that's another team that, just 3 years ago, Derek, they're in the Western Conference Finals.
Gio, way to kill everybody.
I mean, the Grizzlies are sitting right there.
No, I'm on your side because you're being honest. I mean, hell, you put the Grizzlies. That's another tier the Spurs dropped down. So you were just being honest. I appreciate your honesty.
The Grizzlies won 27 games, Rudy. Their team's coming back, essentially. You got to think they're going to hit 40 wins. Obviously everyone's healthy and ready to go. So, no play-in team. I don't see that yet unless they make a big move. I just don't. There's just too many teams in the West who are jockeying for position. Teams are going to get healthy. Teams are going to get better. As Derek said, the Rockets are there too. They're improving. No. Sorry, Spurs fans. You're going to be the odd man out.
Hey, Gio, Utah, if they keep marketing, and we see he hasn't left yet, so I'm sure they're contemplating, do we even get rid of him in the first place? So if you keep marketing, that's another team that possibly could go over the Spurs.
Yeah, because you're talking Markkanen, Colin Sexton,
George
Kessler, Keontae George, Jordan Clarkson. I mean, again, that's another team that, I mean, on paper and in the coherency of that team is better than what we're seeing right now. But again, I'm not degrading the Spurs or anything. They've had a great offseason. We're seeing the emergence of Stephon Castle in the summer in 1 game, but we're seeing how he plays. The Spurs team were on the right path. I just think in a loaded West, they're probably still the 12th, maybe 13th best team in the West right now. I mean, if we're being brutally honest, that's kind of what it's. And Buddy Hield, Captain was saying it. Buddy Hield is the guy who's at Golden State. So, I mean, you lost Clay, but you still got another scorer in Buddy Hield and a shooter. So, again, it's like I just can't get around the whole fact that we're seeing a lot of fans saying, well, they are, they're going to be a play-in. That's like minimum play-in. There's no way, man. There's so many damn teams in the West that are so good.
I saw so many tweets today. Oh, the Spurs are getting ready. A play-in team. No, not right now. Unless Wemby is averaging 30. Devin goes to 30. Hey, you know what? If Devin gets to 25, Wemby's at 28, 29. Oh, you know what? Sure, but I just don't think that's going to happen. At least for those guys, there's gonna be a lot of players that Chris Paul will be able to run the offense. Your offense will probably be better, but how much better than last season? Only time will tell.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of time to tell, man. I mean, can they make a move at the trade deadline? They probably can, but for what reason? I mean, it's going to be a better year. And you know what? I hope I hope we're all wrong. I really hope we're all wrong. I really do. But I'm thinking that it's going to be the same type of year, better win total. I think right now I have them right around 29, 30 wins comfortably. That's where I've got them, but not enough to make the play-in spot at all. Derek, if there's one thing they can do outside of Lauri Markkanen, what can they do to make that win total even better?
Well, it depends on health again, because I saw someone just posted about Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
And I like Zach, but that's a healthy Zach. I was honestly hoping that we got DeMar DeRozan, and then you could kind of figure out the lineup. Because right now, even looking at the lineup, I know they renounced a few guys from last season that were actually playing at the end of the year. So it's still some turmoil there as far as the roster. And, with that, I mean, it's hard to get chemistry when you don't know going into you're in the summer. We don't know what's going to happen in the next few weeks with the Keldon Johnson situation still hanging over our head. It looks like to me Keldon has to be moved, and he has to be moved quickly if they're going to do it so that the team can start preparing for next season. And you can't do that until you know what roster you're going into the season with. I can prove it. You look at the Lakers. They brought in Connect and they brought in Bronny. But if you go down their roster from 1 to 12, and I say 12 because, the other 3 guys are usually in case someone gets hurt or whatever, and they spend time in the G League. But if you go down 1 to 12, most of the teams already know who's going to be their core lineup. Spurs haven't even started scratching the surface as far as that. So they still have a ways to go. So right now I couldn't put them above all those teams that are already pretty much proven who they're going to be as we go into 2024-25.
Yeah. And the other thing, too, is a lot of people are saying, because of what we saw today with Cooper Flagg, they're like, oh, my God, another fan base saying that the Spurs need to tank for Cooper Flagg. You know what? It's not so much about tanking. I don't care about tanking. It doesn't bother me. I really don't give a damn what any team does. I mean, to be honest with you, at the end of the day, you're either good enough to compete or you're not good enough to compete. That's what it is at the end of the day. And you know what? Losing 60-plus games doesn't necessarily mean you tanking. It just means that your team sucks. And is it comparable to other teams in the league? So the whole tanking thing, I don't get it. I mean, I really don't. And the weird thing is if you're tanking in the NBA, what good does that do you? Because you're not guaranteed the first pick. It's different in the NFL to where if you're losing games just to lose so you can get that first pick. In the NBA, the lottery system, it screws you.
Hey, Rudy, the team that lost 28 games in a row this year, isn't that my hometown?
Yeah.
The Detroit Pistons?
They got the fifth.
Did they get the first pick? Did they even get the second pick, the third, or the fourth? No. So tanking is not the answer. You go out and put the best product that you can on the court, and you go from there. I don't think the Spurs are planning on tanking. I don't think those guys on their roster have that in them. They're going to play hard no matter what. They get paid a salary. And I think people forget that. These players aren't tanking. They get paid money to play. And every day that you slack off, that's one day that someone's closer to taking your job. And I hope people can focus and remember that. That's the important thing. Players don't tank. Players get paid to win. And that's what they're going to try to do. It's up to the management to make it all possible where everyone fits like a puzzle, I'll say, like a maze. Players don't tank. Players come out and give the best that they have.
I agree with that. And Chris Leha, shout out to MCS General Contracting. Chris Leha, he was able to get Harry his hat, our 100 subscriber on YouTube. So shout out to Harry as well. And shout out to Chris Leha for doing that. I appreciate that. He was saying Spurs winning about 32 games max. I can truthfully see that. That's around that 28 to 30 win mark. But he's also saying, swear to God, if the Spurs tank again, I'm not watching. They tanked the year before Wemby, and you could see it. The last year, they just sucked and had no chemistry. Why tank again? Scratching my damn head for F out of here. I know what that means. Players don't tank maybe, but management and coaches do. It's a back and forth thing when it comes to the word tanking. And again, in any other sport, tanking probably happens because you're guaranteed a spot in the draft. I mean, if you finish dead last, you're guaranteed number one. The hard thing about the NBA is you can go, Derek, 2-80 on the season, and probably walk away with the 5th pick, a la Detroit this year, having, what the worst record, and you still don't get number 1. So, yeah, I mean, there's no reason in tanking in the NBA. And for me, I posted a GIF today only saying, I posted a GIF of a tank spinning out and says tanking. So I think it was Pledger's post, but ultimately, no. If you follow sports, in the NBA, tanking doesn't work. And you're right. They're out there to compete. They're out there to win. If your team is losing, it's because they're just that bad. They're not ready to compete in the NBA. That's really what it comes down to. There's no such thing as tanking in the NBA.
Rudy, if people remember when certain players sit down at the end or whatever, I can even mention Kawhi Leonard because I heard his players talk about him. There's sometimes the players want to play, but the owners and the management has to come in and make the smart decisions. Most players, when they're hurt, they still want to play. That's just human nature. So sometimes you might sit down certain players that are injured, or you might sit down players that have been playing 25 to 30 minutes a game. That's when you're tanking, but that's not that's not on the players once again. That's on the management. Players are going to give you their all because they want to continue to build their legacy and they want to continue to keep getting those big dollars.
Yeah, because a lot of their contracts, too, are incentive-based. I mean, you've got to get to a point threshold. You've got to do this. You've got to do that. You got to play this many games. You got minutes for, this and that. So a lot of the players' contracts, and not necessarily just basketball, just overall, are laced with incentive clauses that you've got to reach in order to get a full payday. And Leha, you're right. The only sport tanking really works is the NFL. MLB as well. I think MLB doesn't go use the tanking thing. I mean, they can use the tanking thing as well, but NFL for sure. So,
well, the problem with baseball is it's just, you obviously have the minors that plays effect. Some of these players don't get a contract until year 6, year 7.
Yeah.
But year 7, 8, yeah.
In the NFL, listen, if you're going to suck, just be the worst team possible so you can get that number 1 pick and you can go ahead and draft Daniel Jones. So, yeah.
You're never going to lay off that Daniel Jones, are you? Mr. One playoff win against how many did Kyler have?
Hey, Daniel's time has come to an end. You know it.
Well, pretty much Kyler's time has come to an end too. So that's going to be, I think this is Kyler. I'm going to go on a limb. This is Kyler's last year in Arizona. If he can't get it done, they're going to move on from Kyler.
Well,
did he just say if, Gio, I love you, Rudy. Did you just say if they can't win?
Okay. When the Cardinals don't win this year, Kyler's gone.
Necessarily set up for success this year. They got a lot of.
Are you kidding me?
They got a lot of new parts.
They've been helping him out since he's been there. You can't mean to tell me that they haven't been helping him out. They've given him more help than they've given Daniel Jones.
I think he may have a very good year. Oh, I think he's a guy that has a lot to prove. You watch Kyler Murray. He's not going to do anything against Matthew Stafford, but
Gio, I hope he was in the playbook this summer.
Yeah, I hope he ain't playing Call of Duty again like he was a few summers ago.
But hey, Rudy, you gotta be honest though. If you were taking them player by player, which one of those two would you take if you were starting your franchise? Who would you take, Daniel Jones or would you take Kyler Murray?
I would take Kyler Murray. I mean,
that's already been. He's already dig his own grave already with that. So.
Well, no. I mean, if I'm a GM in the NFL, if I'm a GM in the NFL and I've got Kyler and Daniel Jones, I can get more out of Kyler. I can build easier around Kyler. Daniel Jones is more of a pocket presence. He can run, but Kyler Murray, I think, has the ability to be a better quarterback.
I just think the coaching. Look, I'm not a big Cliff guy. That was not a good run there.
He's a better coordinator.
He's a better coordinator. Yeah. If Sean McVay had Kyler Murray, I think you would see a different Kyler Murray, or with some of the other offensive coaches in the league, like Arthur Smith, right, Rudy?
Oh, God. On that note, we're going to take a commercial break. One thing that we hope that Kyler is going to do is play college football 25, because if that's the case, you'll be playing the same game as Kyler Murray, as us here at Sweep the League are going to be giving away a copy of College Football 25 on release day. So I'll wait for you to get that opportunity to win is to go to our YouTube page. Go to YouTube, search at Sweep the League TV, subscribe. One lucky subscriber is going to win a copy of College Football 25. Keep that in mind. When we get back, we're going to talk about next year's draft and one player in particular, Gio's boy who's going to Duke. It's Cooper Flagg, and a lot of Spurs fans saw it and said, you know what? I don't mind losing this year. But again, there's no guarantee. The only guarantee is both MCS General Contracting and La Casina Taco Truck. When we come back, we'll be talking Cooper Flagg, and we'll also get into some Summer League talk as well. This is the commercial break. This is halftime for Coach Gio, Derek Irvin, Rudy Campos Jr. We'll be back in just a second. Are you looking for a contracting company that gets the job done right the first time? Look no further than MCS General Contracting. MCS specializes in top quality concrete work, including patios, driveways, foundations, and swimming pools. The team of experts are dedicated to delivering exceptional results and unparalleled customer satisfaction. At MCS General Contracting, they're not just hardworking, they're local. Based in San Antonio, they are committed to building relationships and trust within the community. That's why MCS guarantees your satisfaction. They pride themselves on getting the job done right the first time, every time. So why wait? Contract MCS General Contracting today to schedule your project and experience the difference for yourself. MCS General Contracting. Building a better San Antonio, one project at a time. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Hey guys, are you ready for a flavor explosion? Look no further than La Casina Taco Truck, serving up the best street tacos and quesadillas in New Braunfels. With a 5-star rating and rave reviews, they're not just a taco truck. They are a taste sensation. La Casina staff is the best in town and pride themselves on making every customer feel like family. Whether you're feeding a crowd or just satisfying your own cravings, they've got you covered because no order is too big or too small for them there. Louis and his staff are all about customer satisfaction, and they love their community. Don't worry, San Antonio friends. They're just a short trip away to New Braunfels. So why wait? Come visit La Casina Taco Truck today and taste the difference for yourself. That's La Casina Taco Truck, where every bite is a fiesta. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Shout out to La Casina Taco Truck and MCS General Contracting, as well as the new debut of the Special Leaf commercial, bringing on Special Leaf here as a sponsor of Sweep the League. Shout out to all three sponsors as well. And we're getting into the next segment here. And of course, I see Mario Cavazos. Welcome, Mario. Says, where can we get hands on a Mr. Gervin tee? So your Sweep the League t-shirt, that's going to be available pretty soon in the Sweep the League merch store. So once that merch store is live, we will let everybody know you can get your hands on one. But anyway, DM me. I can probably see if I can get you on the side because I've already ordered Coach Gio so it can be shipped out. So if anyone wants out there, I can try to see if I can get one on the site for a lot of you guys. But yeah, the Sweep the League merch is actually coming out pretty soon here. Another thing too we got to talk about too is we're in the music business, guys. We signed a deal with the SOTB, Shema on the Beat, and we've released a lot of music, with Sweep the League and Shema on the Beat. So keep your ears open because there's a lot of music, a lot of custom music coming out. So again, Sweep the League, adding more. We're evolving. We're innovating the whole podcast thing. We're making it way, way better. So that's why, we're Sweep the League. We're doing everything that we can here. Appreciate everybody joining us here. 67 live, actually 68 now live. Strong on the stream tonight. This next segment brought to you by La Casina Taco Truck. We're going to get into Cooper Flagg. So Coop, Mr. Coop himself, had himself a day against Team USA, which again, Derek, you said it a few times already. I've kind of hinted at it a couple of times, is the fact that Team USA is not Team USA going into this Olympics here. The good chances of them getting upset, I think, are still pretty damn high. But nonetheless, the performance of Cooper Flagg today against Team USA has many GMs, Derek, salivating and thinking we have to do anything and everything to get that first pick. Because again, like, I hate using this word, but a lot of people are calling him another generational talent.
I mean, look.
Go ahead, Gio.
He's 17. I mean, Rudy, you got to admit, from the highlights, and obviously they're just highlights and they're not showing the whole game, but look, I think he scored anywhere from, they said 14 to 17 points, Rudy, somewhere along those lines that he scored. They're saying he's playing very well, and to play up against Team USA, and yes, they're not Team USA, but hey, he played very well. And listen, as a Spurs fan, I saw those highlights, Derek, and I said, man, he would look really good with that black and white jersey in San Antonio. And look, the Spurs, listen, you don't have to tank. You just got to be in that top 5, right? Top 5, top 8 to have an opportunity to potentially get him. Because obviously the worst team is not always guaranteed that pick. But, man, he played very well, was impressed. He's 17 years old, Derek. So that just shows you this guy is not even – he's not even at the age of 19, 20 years old just yet. Once he gets his man body, he continues to improve. Cooper Flagg is going to be a problem in this league. I can't wait to see him at Duke this season. Duke, Rudy. Duke.
Settle down. Go ahead, Derek.
I'm excited, but we also got to be realistic. The team, the USA veterans, they weren't exactly playing like it was playoffs on the line.
Yeah.
So I don't want people to get too far ahead of themselves. I like the way Cooper looks, but I've liked the way he looked for the last several years. I think he does have a very bright future in the NBA. We always try to anoint guys as generational talents and all this, and they're going to be the new face of the league. But it doesn't happen that easy. Becoming the face of the league is something that's a process and takes several years. You got guys like LeBron, Steph, KD. Those are guys that are face of the leagues because they've proven it on multiple occasions. I think it can happen for Cooper, but once he gets to the NBA, it's going to be a culture shock for him, just like it is for anyone else when they actually go into training camp. I think he has a very high ceiling, but I don't want to put too much pressure on the young man. I just want him to continue on working to get better between Monday and Tuesday. And if he does that, then the sky's the limit for him.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with Cooper. I mean, let's be real. He's going to be the consensus number 1 going into next year pick-wise. But I don't want Spurs fans to feel like it's Cooper or bust. I mean, look at the top 10 guys that I've got right now. You have Cooper Flagg. You have Ace Bailey out of Rutgers is another one. Dylan Harper, same thing. Rutgers is going to be massively good next year with Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper. You've got VJ Edgecombe from Baylor. Hugo Gonzalez is a guy that I've told Derek about, and he's kind of looked at the video with Hugo, a 6'6" guy out of Spain. I mean, you've got so many guys coming in next year. Caleb Foster out of Duke is another guy that you want to take a look at. I mean, next year's class, Nolan Tari out of France, he's a point guard. I mean, there's so many guys in next year's draft. Next year's draft is super loaded with talent, and that's what I'm loving about next year. So if you don't get Cooper, hey, you know what? You just have to settle for Wembanyama. I mean, that's a pretty good thing to settle on is Victor Wembanyama. But to know that you can possibly get another, I want to say not superstar, but multi-time all-star in next year's draft to play alongside Wembanyama. I mean, the sky's the limit for next year's draft, plus all that cap space. That's why 2025, 2026 is that season for the San Antonio Spurs? And it says, Mark Kavas's Amir, does Cooper Flagg have a high shooting release over his head? Kind of does a little bit, Derek. You want to kind of break down Cooper's shooting there? Because, I mean, kind of not similar to Larry Bird, but, I mean, it's kind of, what I'm seeing. He has kind of that high release that we kind of see similar to some of these bigger guys.
I watched him on video, and I actually posted on Facebook earlier that his technique is going to need some work. But they got all these shooting coaches, but potentially he's got a good shot. It could be a lot better if you really look at his technique. He almost crosses his hands at the end of his shot.
Yeah.
But he makes a high percentage of them. But as you know, when you get to the NBA, some of the things that worked in high school and college, they need an upgrade, I'll say, when you get to the NBA. But Cooper looks like the guy that works religiously on whatever they give him. And I think, his shot could use a little improvement, but he's the type guy I think can make it happen. And he's a workhorse. And when you do that and you put that with a high ceiling of talent, the guy's going to be a star in the league. And it's just a matter of tweaking some things. But, yes, his shot can use a little adjustment, I'll say.
Yeah, real quick, Harry Austin is in the comments here. He says he's got the over on the 32 wins that we mentioned earlier. Also, Harry did say, let Atlanta tank next year and continue to grow and get closer to the playoffs. That Atlanta pick is going to be really good, especially if they move on from Trae Young. Now, I'm not saying Trae comes to San Antonio, but if they move on from Trae Young, that Atlanta pick is gold. I mean, because that could easily be top 3. And again, if it's not Cooper Flagg, it's a lot of these other guys. I actually kind of like a kid. His name is Igor Dimin. He's from Russia, basically, but I think he's playing out of BYU. He's a point guard, and I like him. I always talked high about Hugo Gonzalez, but I started looking at Igor a little bit more, and I'm kind of liking what I'm seeing. We've got a phone call here. Let's make sure the phone lines are working here. We got a phone call coming in. Hello, caller. You're on Sweep the League. How can we help you tonight?
Yo, what's up, Rudy?
What's up, man? How you doing?
All right. It's all about Poodle Blue Devils, man.
I'm assuming this is Tim. He's the only one bringing up the Blue Devils. What's up, Tim?
Yes, sir. Tar Heels still suck. You know that.
Well, they have lately. They have. I won't deny that, man.
Man, what's up, Gio? What's up, Derek?
Hey, how you doing?
Hello.
Man?
What you got going on? You ready for the Cooper Flagg victory flag if that happens in San Antonio, Tim?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What do you got?
Yes, sir.
You got a question for Derek or Gio or anybody?
Yeah, I got all, 3 questions for all 3 of y'all.
What's up, man?
All right. Let's see. Now we're in the a couple of more weeks. We have the Olympics coming in, and if you were Grant Hill, who were you had to put like 12 USA men to play against, let's say, France for the gold medal.
Okay.
If you can have your 5 starters to represent Team USA. It can be from any player. You can go as back to the George Mikan days to the present. 5 starters, 5 off the bench, and 2 players, and a head coach.
All right, so he wants your all-time 10. Now, before we get into that one, what are your other questions, man? So we can kind of get all 3 together here.
No, he wanted all 3 of us to answer. Now, that was his question. Okay. He just had 3 different people.
Yes, that was my question, yeah.
Okay.
Any player. You can go as whatever player. And head coach, it don't matter. It don't matter.
Okay, so we got to go 10. So you got any other questions, Sim, or is that the one you want to go with there?
That's the one. And hopefully when Gio comes, we can get a group photo, man, when the Final Four's here, when, Duke's holding that trophy.
Yes, sir. Duke's going to be crying. He's going to be crying.
So, all right, man. Hey, thanks for having this talk, man. This is feels like ACC PM.
All right, man. Anytime. Hey, call back anytime you want, Tim. And yeah, we're going to answer your question right now, buddy.
All right, man. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good evening.
All right, so he wants to know, hey, you've got the monsters of Team France, and he wants us to pick 10 guys, 5 starters, 5 bench guys, and a head coach. I mean, the head coach wise, I don't even know how I would go head coach wise. I mean, anybody in head coach, was that Red Auerbach? I mean, if you want to go that far back for head coaching, I mean, I definitely got to say, I mean, you definitely got to go Mike and Magic. Probably a Jabbar or Russell. I don't know at that center position. Probably Jabbar. Man. For me, I would probably put Bird in there on my starting five. I can't get the fourth on the starting five.
Well, you 3 for 3 with my 5 so far.
All right. So you know what? I don't know. I mean, because I'm looking at what? A power forward, maybe? I'd have to get some more strength. Probably. I almost would go with a Jabbar, Russell, Bird, Magic, Mike. That would be my 5 to start.
Okay.
That would be my 5, my starting 5. Knowing that they have Gobert and Victor, I would say Jabbar, Russell, Bird, Magic, Mike. Magic Mike, that's crazy, right? The movie, I got Magic and Mike in there. So who would you guys have? Who wants to go, Derek or Gio? I'm going to leave that up to you, man. Oh, you know what? Tim Duncan. I forgot Timmy.
I wouldn't put Tim in mine.
Yeah, I would say Tim's off.
Tim got in foul trouble every game.
Yeah,
they didn't let him play.
Come on, Derek. Come on.
I would say Timmy's off the bench. Tim's off the bench for me.
Gio, he got in foul trouble every single game.
But Derek, come on, in a perfect world. I mean, I think he'll be fine.
We have to go by what is. I am.
Yeah. Well, let me get Derek. Give me your 5, Derek. Your starting 5 there.
My 5 is easy. My 5 is easy. I got Magic and Mike in the backcourt.
All right.
I got Kareem at the center.
All right.
And my forwards, I'm going with versatile guys. I got Barkley and Bird.
Barkley and Bird. Man, Barkley. Yeah. Toughness there. Okay.
Yeah, but we got 2 guys that can start the fast break on their own. They both can rebound the basketball. And that for me, that's a winning team. The Olympics is about can you score? And that team there is going to score.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I went with Russell only for the defensive side, the defensive presence on there. So, Gio, give me your 5, your starting 5 to go up against, I guess an international powerhouse. If you had to pick any guys out.
Point guard is going to be Magic Johnson, no brainer. Michael Jordan. At small forward, I'm gonna go with LeBron James at the spot here at small forward. Power forward, I'm going with Tim Duncan, and at center, I'm going with Kareem. I like that starting 5 against any team. Now, on the backcourt, or actually on the bench,
okay,
I'm going to put Oscar Robertson on there. My other shooting guard is going to be Kobe. I got Larry Bird on the bench. I got Karl Malone and the Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal.
I mean, we're not gonna argue over anybody's top 10 here for competing against them. We got Tim in here. He says Bill Russell, Duncan, Pippen, Jordan, and Derek Gervin as his starting 5. Man, that's a good starting 5.
Tell Tim, don't be funny, but I will tell him something quickly. Alvin Robertson has a brother, and his 2 favorite players are Allen Iverson and Derek Gervin. So I'll just leave it at that.
There you go. Was it crazy, Derek, that last night I was working on something and I decided to see if I could buy a customized the Toros, where you used to play overseas. I was trying to find if I could get a jersey, but I can't get a jersey. So what did I do? I started looking up the Santa Barbara Islanders, and I can't even get a damn Santa Barbara Islanders jersey anywhere. So we got to get the hookup somewhere. We're going to get a Derek Gervin jersey.
I have to ask around, man. When I quit playing, I didn't keep pictures, videos, none of that. When I walked away, but I'll see if I can make something happen just like you did for me.
There you go. That should be a question we ask for a prize. Name all the teams that Derek has played for. That would be an awesome question for someone to ask. So Derek, Gio gave us his top 10. Gio, where's your coach? Give me your coach real quick. They love your starting 5, Gio. Everybody likes to run with Gio because Gio, he's the baby of the group and all this other stuff. We got a baby in college. Who's your coach, Gio?
I'm going to go Pop.
He's going with Pop. Wesley has Magic, MJ Bird, Kareem, and David Robinson as his starting.
Big Dave. Yes, sir.
What do you got on your bench, Derek?
My bench is Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. He said 12. Carmelo Anthony.
Okay.
I have to give Isaiah his shine since they didn't give Isaiah his Olympic spot. I'm giving it to him now. And then I got David Robinson, Bill Russell, and Carmelo Anthony. I can't leave Carmelo out because Carmelo at one time was the guy that was putting up the buckets.
Yeah.
My coach is Larry Brown.
Larry Brown. That's an interesting one, but a good one too. I like that. I like that right there. If I have to go with my bench, I'm going to put Isaiah Thomas. I like Karl Malone on my bench. I'm going to go I need two big guys, so I'm going to go with David Robinson. I'm going to go with Akeem Olajuwon. You know what? No, I'm sorry. Give me Akeem Olajuwon.
Not for America.
Well, I mean, the dream's got to be American. We got to.
He's from Lagos, Nigeria.
Oh, he's been in America long enough. We can give him. Okay, if I can't take Dream, then I'll take Duncan and Robinson as my two big guys on the bench to go along with Malone and Isaiah. I would probably end up taking LeBron on my bench as well. That would give me 10. I'll go with that lineup there. As far as my coach, man, I don't know because I don't want to take Pop because you took Pop. I don't want to take Larry Brown because you have Larry Brown. I don't know, man. You know what? Give me Bob Knight. I'll take
Bobby Knight, man. There you go.
I'll take Bobby Knight, man. I wonder who's starting. I wonder whose team would come out dominant. We need to put this on NBA Live and have them play like that. Derek's very confident in his team right there. We got other squads coming in here. Wesley's bench is Chris Mullin, Carmelo, and John Stockton. Damn it, I forgot Stockton. Kobe Bryant as well. Charles Barkley, Pat Riley as his coach.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all, man. That's not bad at all. It's funny how a lot of people, most people wouldn't say like Kevin Durant or anybody in today's game, with the exception of Derek mentioning, Steph Curry, which, I mean, there's no doubt about that. It would be a great addition to Team USA, to play against a big time squad. So I appreciate the question, Tim. Again, if you guys want to call in, man, we've got a call-in number. You want to drop your top 10 to face against the big Olympic duo. It's 830-499-1852. Give us a call. Talk about whatever you want to talk about. As you can tell, Tim was slamming me with the Duke take because apparently Duke's the greatest school of all time, and we all know that is not true. Right, Gio?
It's one of the greatest schools of all time in basketball.
One. You keyword, you said one of the greatest, but not the greatest.
There's a lot of great
resides in Chapel Hill.
There's a lot of great schools, Villanova, Houston, once upon a time. There's a lot of good schools.
Yeah.
In the last 54 years, though, Duke would have to be right up there near the top, wouldn't they, Rudy? From the time Mike Krzyzewski stepped in, Duke would have to be right up there.
See, you guys are trying to convince me to talk nice about Duke, and I can't do it. I don't think I'll ever be able to do it. And see, we've got our producer. He's got jokes. Duke is at the top. We're gonna have to throw out some pink slips here at Sweep the League. But while we're throwing out those pink slips, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. When we get back, we'll go over some Summer League talk. Stephon Castle had his debut. We saw Bronny have his debut, 4 points in 21 minutes. Dalton Connect kind of got a little bit going for the Lakers in that second game. We've got Summer League talk. And again, anything else you want to talk about, drop it in the chat. This is Sweep the League. And again, we released the song, so we'll have a little bit of that song for you right now. Go check it out. It is on Spotify. It's going to be hitting up on Apple Music here. It is the Wemby song. Coach Gio, Derek Irvin, Rudy Campos Jr. will be back.
King is crowned, Wemby, King is crowned, future of the league, and he's wearing it proud. We playing justice, playing checkers, no contest. Wemby's got the game on lock, and he's making a statement. I'm talking about Wemby, the next in line, future of the league, and
Can you imagine a world where nature meets wellness? where every sip you take nourishes your body and soul. Introducing Special Leaf Tea, a line of 100% natural, ready-to-drink iced teas crafted to boost your immunity and energy. With 4 unique flavors to choose from, as in hibiscus blueberry, tangerine ginger, pomegranate blueberry, or the original, you can indulge in the perfect blend of taste and nutrition. Their teas are carefully crafted with 2 times the antioxidants and no added sugar. They're known to help with blood pressure, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, cholesterol, weight management, and even provide natural energy without caffeine. Join the movement towards natural wellness. Order now at www.specialleaf.com and start sipping your way to a healthier, happier you. Special Leaf Tea. Nature in every sip. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League.
Digital.
Yeah, welcome back to Sweep the League. Coach Joe, Derek Irvin, Rudy Campos Jr. joining you tonight on this Manic Monday. We have to give a special shout out to Special Leaf Tea. Greatest stuff in the on the planet right now. I drink a lot of it. Also, shout out to MCS General Contracting and La Cocina Taco Truck, all sponsors of Sweep the League. Also, shout out to Locked On Spurs, Jeff Garcia. I'll be on tomorrow, I believe, for Locked On Spurs. And there you see the cups.
Oh, Rudy Gio, don't get upset.
Yeah, no, Gio can't because he wasn't.
I don't have anything.
You weren't on the radio.
I don't have a shirt. I don't have a jacket. I don't have anything.
I've
got my name.
I've got stickers. Hey,
Derek's got the name. Derek's got everything.
In my defense, that was our other producer. Shout out to Chris Galler. He's the one that had all those made for us. So, Gio, I'm sorry you weren't on the radio with us then, but you're on with us now. So I'm going to reach out to Galler. I'm going to say, Galler.
I was on with Rudy first, though.
You were on with me first. That was a long time ago. You were on with me first. But you took a hiatus because you kept getting cooked. That's from what I'm understanding. That's what Jeff was saying.
Well, I don't live in San Antonio, so obviously, I'm a bit far behind.
I don't live in San Antonio anymore either. So can't.
Well, you live in Texas, Rudy. I don't live in Texas.
Well, you can move. You can move close to us if you wanted to. You can. That's true.
And with that hurricane coming.
Oh, it's already gone. It's already in Louisiana, man. The hurricane came and gone already, so it's already in Louisiana. But shout out to all of our sponsors out there. MCS General Contracting, La Cocina Taco Truck, and Special Leaf Tea. This next segment is brought to you by MCS General Contracting, La Cocina Taco Truck, and Special Leaf Tea, all 3 of our sponsors. This next segment is talking about Summer League basketball. Now, quick note here. We are actually going to start our NFL talk here pretty soon. So we're going to be doing our breakdowns of the NFL. Each team, we're going to go through each team, kind of give, our hits on that, whether they're going to be playoff team, playoff bound, how they're going to finish. We're going to break down as much of the NFL as possible. We've got some analysts from each team that are hopefully going to be joining us too to break down their team. Also this week, we've got local comedian David Mullins is going to be joining the Sweep the League family here. Kind of give us a segment. He's got a show coming up July 27th over at the Josephine Theater. So David Mullins is going to be joining us this week here on Sweep the League. So that's some things to come here. But Stephon Castle, pretty decent. Kind of filled the stat sheet up in his very first Summer League game. Didn't play in game 2. We saw some of Harrison Ingram, the other draft pick by the San Antonio Spurs. Thoughts on Stephon Castle's first game in Summer League? Honestly, I don't know why everybody they don't give me a hard time for saying it, but I still feel like I like him in that 2-guard spot off the ball. I know he can run point. He is a point guard. I love what he did in the first game. He ran the point. He did very well. He only had 1 turnover, which is huge. But when you've got CP3, I like Chris Paul and Castle in the backcourt. Is there something there that I'm seeing or that I'm feeling, Derek, that you might be able to see having both Chris Paul and Castle in the backcourt? Because me playing off the ball for Castle, it kind of plays into his characteristics of the game.
I like that lineup together, the two of them, but you can't forget Devin Vassell. I like Castle coming off the bench for sure. I think it gives him a chance to learn, and being around Chris Paul every day, it gets him the IQ. It picks up his IQ level as well. So now you got a guard that can play either the point or the two guard. And that's what I think is great. It's going to be great for him. I saw him knock down his shot. It's more of like a set shot from three-point range, but he can knock it down. So I think he's going to continue to get better. But where I think he's going to shine the most is going to be on the defensive end of the floor. And I think that's something the Spurs have to look forward to as we move forward towards training camp.
Yeah, and the reason why I say this is what I was thinking, and this is the lineup that I had thought about. Okay, you've got Chris Paul, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Sochan, Wemby. And that kind of reminds me of a Golden State type of lineup. Where you had Clay, Draymond. Draymond is 6'6", Devin is 6'5". So I mean, you surround Chris. What's up?
Hey, Rudy, how you gonna mention a Golden State lineup and leave out Harrison Barnes?
What do you mean?
Who actually played for Golden State?
No, I know. Let me finish. This was prior to Harrison Barnes coming to San Antonio.
And you like that lineup with Sochan. Why do you guys, and I'm just asking, I know the fans like Sochan because of the dyed hair and all of that, some of his theatrics, but as a player, does he really move the needle? Because I know at one time his name was coming up in trade rumors.
Yeah. The improvement has not been there. I mean, it has, but it hasn't. I think more so ever, it's defense for me. I think it's a defensive thing for Sochan. I think he plays better, defense on the ball. I don't really expect scoring from him. I don't expect a whole lot from him on the offensive side. I just think he brings length on the defensive side, and that's really it. If we're being honest with Sochan, I don't expect much from him, period. I just expect him to guard. That's it.
What if you played him in like a Draymond type role?
It could work, but I mean,
since they tried to play him at point guard anyway,
But I mean, I don't think he doesn't have the ball handling ability as a Draymond. I don't see that. So it'd be kind of tough to put him at that position. Like you said, they tried it already. I mean, didn't work. So that's just me right there. But with Sochan, I'm not infatuated with Jeremy. If he was traded, okay, he's traded. I mean, the needle is stuck, just like right there, just kind of shaking. It's not going this way. It's not going this way. It's just kind of right there. Because you're going to get good nights from him. You're going to get average nights from him majority of the time. You can't really expect a whole lot from him. I mean, that's kind of the way I see it when it comes to Jeremy.
Man, did we run Rudy off? We ran Gio off. I'm sorry, Gio, talking about Jeremy Sochan.
Well, that's typical Gio. He gets a little mad when we start talking about his favorite players. No, Gio had to actually run. He had something that just came up here. But for Jeremy, I mean, where do you see the infatuation with Jeremy for the fans? Because, I mean, people are, he's untouchable. Man, he's one of the most guys that I think you could probably get some value for if you had to move on from him. That's just my opinion.
Well, I agree. It just seemed like the fans like him because, they see him out in the community. He does the Dennis Rodman, different hair colors. That seems to attract a lot of fans towards him. I think he's a good player defensively, but, I mean, they still need to make another move. Why can't we get a knockdown shooter who's about 6'6", 6'7", 6'8"? That's what I think we really need. You could move Keldon Johnson, and if you have to move Sochan, I don't think both of them will be moved. But we got to get some knockdown shooters. They tried it with Doug McDermott. That didn't seem to work out. But we need shooting, man, just like the Lakers have needed for the last 5-6 years. That's what we need in San Antonio moving forward is guys that could knock down that open shot so it takes pressure off of Victor, and it takes pressure off of 37, 38-year-old Chris Paul.
Yeah. What shooters will we be looking at coming out? I mean, that we could possibly look at getting there. I mean, that's tough right now.
You got Okoro is out there. You got the young man Highsmith is out there. You got some guys that can shoot the ball. You just got to be able to give up something to bring them in. Remember, we always talk about the role players. It doesn't have to be stars.
Yeah.
But you go out and get guys that can knock down that corner shot. That's why they brought in Harrison Barnes. Where does Harrison Barnes shoot most of his threes? From the corner. Yeah. So we need guys that can handle the ball a little bit and can shoot the ball. And I'm hoping that's the direction the Spurs start moving in.
Is it safe to say that Harrison Barnes is going to finish out his contract with the Spurs? Is it safe to say that? Or because when they made the move, obviously they made the move to help DeMar get to Sacramento. So when I saw that, the very first thing that popped into my head was, this feels like a move where they're going to move Barnes again, or they're going to release him. That was the very first thing that hit me in the head. They helped Sacramento get DeMar by taking on that contract. We've seen it before where the Spurs take on a veteran contract and then they release him. Didn't happen this time, but it makes me wonder, does he stay in San Antonio the duration of his contract, which is 2 years?
2 years. Well, that's a tough one, Rudy, because I think you don't give up on a guy that's over his career. I believe he's averaged like 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. That's a guy that we need to keep in-house and try to continue to strengthen the team. We were talking about getting a Klay Thompson, so that's a veteran. They were talking about trade. That's a veteran. We need a veteran, and Harrison Barnes is a proven veteran. The guy can play. I mean, we've seen him play. Man, he's had some really, really good games. And even usually when he's not scoring, he still is a very good contributor because he plays hard. And he does a lot of the little things. Sometimes you need that PJ Tucker guy that's just going to go in the trenches for you. And I believe that's why he fits in here. He's a blue-collar worker. But more than that, he can knock down that open three-pointer from the corner. And I think that's invaluable right now in San Antonio.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, some names that are still out there. I believe Evan Fournier is still out there, but he's going overseas last I checked. Barnes is going to go to Utah. LOL. I mean, it could be if it's part of a Laurie deal. I mean, Harrison could be a part of that kind of deal. Really, outside of that, I mean,
so bye.
Yeah. I mean, other guys that are available that you could probably work with, maybe a Luke Kennard. He's still available. Doug McDermott is still there, but I don't think they bring back Doug McDermott. I mean, Gordon Hayward is out there. There's a couple of guys, like you mentioned, Isaac Okoro is still out there. You got Taylor Horton Tucker that's still there. I mean, there's a couple of guys there that you could still maybe work with, but it's kind of like slim pickings right now. I mean, that's why I kind of think, well, maybe Harrison is going to probably finish unless the Spurs are sitting at that 30-win mark, 28-win mark come trade deadline. I mean, a team may pay some pretty good money as far as assets go for Harrison Barnes for that playoff push, which we could potentially see. That's another reason why I say the Chris Paul thing was great, because it's so cap friendly. Come trade deadline, if one of these teams, say Milwaukee, is in dire need of a point guard, they can contact the Spurs about Chris Paul, and they're going to pay just about any price to get Chris Paul. And why? Because that $11 million contract fits under just about everybody's salary cap. So that's where I think it was also beneficial for the Spurs to sign him and that deal. So that's why we're bringing it up, man. But, as far as Stephon Castle, we were talking about him. Where do you think he fits coming off the bench for the Spurs if he's not a starter? Is he come be the first man off? Is he going to be somewhere, where the 7th, 8th guy off the bench? The third guy off the bench. I mean, it's kind of really hard to tell where Stephon falls in the mix now.
4th pick, man, he better be the first one off the bench. Because if they invested in him in the fourth pick, means that they're moving forward. He's going to be a part of the roster, part of the rotation. So they might as well break him in now. And that's if he's not starting, because you got to figure out if they're going to you could also, move Keldon, and you could move Vassell to the 3 if you had to, because this is a small ball league right now. But whatever they do, they're going to have to play Castle, and the reason they're going to have to is because he plays hard, and he's a proven winner. I mean, coming out of Connecticut, he learned a lot from the Hurleys, and I like him. And you got to get him in the mix. So even if it was as a starter or a 6-man, he wouldn't be any lower on my totem pole than the 6-man.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of promise, especially coming out of UConn, and that's what I'm looking at. And I think we were saying, like I said, Stephon is probably the best prospect in this draft. I mean, you saw everything in him, and it was just the only real concern was his jump shot, which in the summer league it looked pretty good. I mean, it wasn't like fantastic and amazing, but he could work with it, and that's something that you're going to see the improvement on playing at the NBA level. So. Yeah, I mean, I really feel like you're right. He might be the first guy coming off the bench. I just feel like he might end up being a starter later on in the season. I don't know why.
Well, he will. Before I can see that happening before the year is out. And Rudy, I've been looking at this question from Tim. I don't know if Tim knows that I'm a huge Luke Kennard fan. I think he never should have been moved from the Detroit Pistons several years ago. So that's my answer. I like Gary Trent Jr., but I'm a big Luke Kennard fan. The guy has led the NBA in three-point shooting, and I like that left-hand stroke. So that would be my answer for if it came down to Luke or Trent Jr. I'm taking Luke Kennard.
Yeah, I love Luke Kennard as well, man. Definitely a guy that I think he would be beneficial for the San Antonio Spurs. Again, nothing that's going to move the needle to, well, they're going to 42 wins, 43 wins, anything like that, but Luke Kennard makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not calling him the franchise player, but yeah, I would like to see Luke. I think that would shore up a lot of our shooting problems with him coming in shooting 44% from 3-point range.
Yeah, so we've got the last question of the night. We're gonna go over this real quick, Derek. You and I, as constructed. What do you have your win total for the Spurs as constructed? I mentioned 28-30. That's where I'm at right now. Of course, it's going to change at the beginning of the season. I'm going to give my final win total right around preseason or a little after. But as of right now, as constructed from what I've seen, I'm between 28 and 30. So I will say we'll just go on the high end of 30, but I think it might be a little lower. What do you think that they're going to look at right now, win total wise?
I'm going to go 32. I'm going to give him a 10-game improvement. And the reasons are because Victor is going to be a one more year. He's going to have more polish from last season. Mm-hmm. And then you bring in a veteran, Chris Paul, who I think is going to be brought in to play 30 minutes. You don't need him to play more than 30 minutes. You could play Trey Jones if you had to, if he's still here, or you could play Castle in that spot. But I think they're on an upward trend. But right now, I would go 32 wins. I could see 32 and 50.
32 and 50. So really, we're not that far off. I'm at 30 right now on the high end, which, I'm going to go with 30. You're at 32. We're going to make our predictions. And then FYI, Derek and I we do make our predictions. Now we have the platform to make our predictions at the beginning of the season, calling out who's going to win the NBA title, who's going to be in the finals. We call a lot of stuff out. So the NBA preview show is going to be coming up here probably, I'll say within September, October is when we're going to get into all that kind of talk. But we're going to be talking some NFL football. We're going to be talking some college football. We've got some college football on the horizon as well. So just be ready for everything. We don't just talk basketball and NBA. We talk everything. Austin Hartsfield, trying to work with him about getting the baseball, the Painting Corners podcast back up. So everybody just be on the lookout. Derek, we're basically doing sports talk. We're doing live talk. We're doing music now. We've got a lot more stuff coming out. We've got a merch store coming out. We couldn't do this without everybody out there. Derek, Gio, myself, our producers, Rock, who's in here from time to time. We want to say this from the bottom of our heart. We appreciate everything that you guys do for us. The support that you've given us has shot us up to 124 subscribers, which doesn't sound like a lot, but considering a month ago, we were right at 25 subscribers, 100 subscribers in about a month's time. is tremendous. Get on YouTube. It's at Sweep the League TV. Hit that subscribe button. Get yourself an entry for the College Football 25 giveaway. We're also going to be giving away a copy of Madden. So we're just giving everything away, man. We don't ask for much. We're not asking you for money. We're asking you for subscribing. That's it. And it's free to subscribe on YouTube. So head over to that YouTube page at Sweep the League TV. So again, we appreciate everybody for joining us here tonight. You got any parting words, Derek, for anybody out there?
No, you just covered it. Basically, the subscribers, and I just wanted to thank everybody for tuning in. Captain earlier for chiming in, and Tim and all you guys. Now we got to get some more ladies. We got to get some ladies on this show as well. So continue to tell a friend about the show, and then just grow with us. And the show, this is one of the best shows around. I mean that sincerely. And we need your help so we can continue to grow. As you help us out, the more we grow, and we grow together as a team.
Oh, yeah. We'll definitely be out and about. We've got some events that we're planning here. You'll probably catch us doing maybe a live show somewhere at a restaurant or something. So we've got a lot of stuff in the works, a lot of live events. We're planning on covering some sports in town. So if you're ever at a sporting event, a few of us are hopefully going to be out there covering it. So again, we appreciate every single one of you guys and girls out there. Thank you from the bottom of our heart. So for Derek Irvin, it is Rudy Campos here. Until we sweep the league again tomorrow, you guys be safe out there. We'll see you soon.